Yo, what I need you to do right now is like and subscribe. Yes, like and subscribe. Why? Because, man, as the platform grows, more people get exposed, more exposure, and everybody wins. You win, I win, the souls of men win. I don't know what that means exactly, but I mean, it sounds good, so just do it. New York, big city of dreams. Everything in New York ain't always what it seems. I love New York. I love New York City. I love the energy. I love the people. I love so much about it. But the crazy part about it is I would not have been exposed to New York if it wasn't for hip hop. Like, literally most of what I know about New York is because of hip hop music. A lot of folks don't know that I am a product of hip hop. I was listening to hip hop since I was probably 6 years old. My mom would clean the kitchen listening to it. And so much of it was coming from New York that even though I grew up primarily on the West and the South, I still was so influenced by New York hip hop. And I think the reason why is because New York, especially like in the Bronx, it was this city full of like diversity and marginalized people. You got Blacks and Puerto Ricans who are, you know, marginalized. They don't have great opportunities and financially strapped, and so they're getting creative. They're getting creative with things like graffiti. They're getting creative with breakdancing. They're figuring out how to express themselves in a depressed and marginalized area, and that's how hip hop was born. You know, parties where people would get to rapping at them, or really the DJs would get to battling and playing music, and people would dance to them. And then in between, you'd have these MCs or master of ceremonies, and they would get to rapping all the way back to like the Bronx and Brooklyn. Like, if there's anything I know, it's hip hop. I'm a hip hop fan, a hip hop stan. Like, some people really know football or really know basketball. That's how I feel about hip hop, you know. And New York is like the birthplace. It's the Mecca. You got to think about it. These massive buildings and companies and all these things happening here. It's influencing the artists, and so the artists have another landscape to paint with. You know, they're painting pictures for us in different parts of the world that we've never heard before. So they're just so massively influential. You just go down the line from back to the Sugar Hill Gang, to Eric B. and Rakim, to EPMD, to Curtis Blow, to, you know, another generation comes around and it's like Nas and AZ and Jay-Z, and there's so many individuals that you know, from Busta Rhymes, Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature, even though they're Jersey side, but to Wu-Tang. Then it just keeps going to another whole generation of individuals, to your Cam'rons, you know, Dipset, Juelz Santana's, and there's like, man, so much influence happening, to the 50 Cents, and it just keeps going and going and going until, you know, modern day we got Andy Mineo, baby. You know what I'm saying? New York. But no, man, just the culture's so rich in New York, and you can try to tour around New York for 2 weeks and still not see everything there is to see. And so there's a richness in cultural diversity and exposure and history that I just really appreciate. And I think that's what makes New York dope. Even though a lot of the culture's being extracted and people are moving out, and a lot of people who live there are not really from there anymore, it's still a special place. You know, I always have a special place in my heart because of hip hop. So I forever love New York. I'm grateful for all the people who've contributed to my career from New York, from the producers to the managers to the art, creative directors. Like, New York has really played a huge part in everything that I've done. So shout out to y'all, man. Hip hop, man. Where would hip hop be without New York? Yo, so if you enjoy the conversations we have here on YouTube, I go a little bit deeper, I answer questions. It just, you know, I get to hang out with people a little more intimately on Patreon. So make sure you jump onto the Patreon and subscribe there as well. And let's keep this thing moving. Love. What's going on, y'all? Thank you for checking out my channel. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and ring the bell for the notifications. Also, check me out on social media. Name is spelled Lecrae. God bless y'all.